Hello there, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Fulcrum channel. How are you doing today, Tyler?
I'm feeling awesome. I'm happy to be back. I've been coughing for the last few weeks, you know.
Damn, me too. I've been sick a little bit. Some of you may hear it in my voice,
Yeah.
so I'm going to just try to get through today. But it shouldn't be bad.
It sounds kind of majestic, you know, like a bit it sounds like a bit Yoda-esque, a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, a lot has happened, I'd say, in the past 2 weeks in Star Wars. We hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving break, by the way. We got back ourselves as well. So a lot has happened since then. I mean, Andor wrapped up, which phenomenal show in my opinion. A new Grogu show has dropped. What? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wait, the one
like
by
the shorts.
Studio Ghibli.
Yeah. And also, Bob Iger is back at Disney. So those are like the notable things that have happened. So should we just get straight into it? You can just take it away.
All right. Yeah, so for this week, I wanted to talk about my favorite Andor character, Luthen Rael, if that's how you say his last name.
Probably.
Yeah, not a lot is known about him, at least to me. So I haven't done my homework on him, but from what I've seen, he is a legend. He is an incredible character. Stellan Skarsgård absolutely killed it as Luthen. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he is my favorite character in the show, by far. Just like, I feel like the mystery of like, exactly, like we don't know who he is, and I think the mystery of that character, we don't know his background that much. I think that adds kind of to his charm, if you will.
Yeah. Did you know 15 years ago from 5 BBY isn't, I think 19 BBY, or if I'm doing the math right? So, and do you remember when he went to go see Saul's Partisans and they searched him, and he says to one of them, "Keep it or give it back," you know? What do you think? What I thought he was holding, it wasn't his little cane. I think that's a lightsaber.
See, now, I don't exactly know what you're talking about because I don't remember that part of the show.
You don't?
So you're going to have to take over here. I mean, I don't...
So he had just landed to go talk about, I think it was after the Aldhani job, which I'll bring up Aldhani later. Yeah, the thing that started it all, essentially. At least, I think that's what happened. I'm a bit fuzzy with that event. But what happened was he goes to see Saul's Partisans, and they stop him at the door, and they search him, and they find this object, and they take it from him and hold it out. And then Luthen's a bit impatient, or not impatient, he's a bit stern, and he just says, "Take it or give it back," or something along those lines. I don't know, it's my Luthen impression.
So you think it's a lightsaber, what he's holding, essentially?
Yeah. It looked to be somewhat wooden, a little bit. Like, you know, Genji's lightsaber.
Gunji's, yeah. Gunji's
I
lightsaber.
can't pronounce his name right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Luthen is awesome. What I'm about to get to, what he fought against, was something that I never thought I would see in Star Wars canon on screen. The Arrestor Cruiser, the Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser.
His ship?
No, the ship that he fought against, the one that was pulling him in, the tractor beam.
Oh, okay. Once again, my knowledge of ships is shown.
No worries. That's why there's two of us.
True.
We have our strengths and our weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, so the Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser is a nod to Colin Cantwell's, which Colin Cantwell is the original concept designer. Well, he's not Ralph McQuarrie, but he's kind of like Ralph McQuarrie. He made a bunch of the prototype models of ships and things for George. And that ship, the Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser, is taken, albeit it's modified to look sort of like it fits in universe, but the design is taken from the original model and concept art that he did for the Star Destroyer. That's what the Star Destroyer was supposed to look like.
Oh.
In his eyes.
Originally?
Yeah.
Oh, but I think McQuarrie's designs kind of won over, right?
Yeah, actually he had two designs for the Star Destroyer, but that was originally what he had in mind.
Oh, that's cool.
So 40 plus years in the vault, and then it finally sees the light of day. It did appear in Solo, though, as in a deleted scene and on the hologram.
Ah, so it finally gets to do.
Officially, yes.
Yes.
Even though, if you look closely, it's there. Do you think that was a smart move, though, how Luthen launched a bunch of shrapnel into the tractor beam? Because technically, if you think about it, If you just start throwing things into a magnet, the magnet will eventually break.
Wait, can you repeat that again? Because I zoned out.
He basically, we all zone out. But when Luthen used the countermeasures on his ship, I think that's a YT-13, not 1300, but a YT class of a ship.
Yep.
It's Corellian, but okay. Just got to ask, what do you like better, the Millennium Falcon or the Luthen ship?
Millennium Falcon.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's the nostalgia.
Yeah, it's honestly the nostalgia.
And the design too.
Yeah, it's such a cool, unique like shape. Honestly, like it's like
it looks like a cookie.
Yeah, like somebody took a bite out of a cookie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I don't know, like Chewbacca just took a
Wookiee cookie.
That's unique. I never heard of that before.
You never heard of it? It's from the.
Is that Galaxy's Edge or something? Something at Galaxy's Edge?
Maybe I don't know. But it's from the shows, from the Skywalker saga, from
Wookiee cookie.
Yeah, I think it appeared in the Skywalker saga, but it appeared in the Force Awakens, the Lego game. That's the first time I saw it, at least. Mm. Nine was eating them during Return of the Jedi in the final battle.
Ah, that is true. Yeah,
he did have a bunch of cookies. Yeah. Wookiee cookies. Sorry, off topic. Today's probably going to be a little more discombobulated in terms of things. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, probably. We apologize if the energy is a bit low. We're both kind of just getting off the end of like
a sickness.
Yeah, I mean, Friday morning rather. I woke up, felt like my throat was filled with cement. And
mine felt like sandpaper.
Exactly. Yeah, and I woke up with like a 104 fever. So, no,
you on Mustafar?
I'm sorry. Not 104, 101. 101. Yeah. So I literally just woke up, took some vitamins, popped the Tylenol.
You mean a death stick?
Yeah, true. I took some death sticks and I woke up and felt.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You will go home and rethink your life.
I will go home. Wrong impression. I will go home and rethink my life.
Perfect.
And he walks off.
All right, where were we?
We were not talking about death sticks. I'll give you that. We were talking about Wookiee cookies, but then before that we were talking about Luthen ship and the Colin Cantwell.
The ship.
But there was a better word for it. It was a tribute, in a sense.
Whatever. Just if you can't figure it out, it's fine.
No, I can. I'm just looking for a word. But the last thing we have, which we haven't planned for this, we don't know what the planet is for the week. So
let's talk about Ferrix.
Okay, or Aldhani, or just why don't we talk about 2 planets?
Fine. Go ahead.
So Aldhani to me, it reminded me a lot of Scotland. I don't know why. It just did.
That is fair. Yeah,
and
Iceland as well.
And Iceland, and a little bit of Octo. So
yeah.
What's that island called that they filmed at for Octo?
It's some island off of the coast of Scotland. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah.
Or Ireland. I can't remember which.
But I loved how they and just overall just the way that the dam is built. They used a dam for a base, and there was a giant tube going underground. I don't know. I just loved that. And I loved how there's an airfield nearby. That was cool. You know the best part of Andor for me for that episode? Mm-hmm. Seeing TIE pilots climb into the cockpit, flip the switches, start up their TIE fighters, and launch.
That was pretty awesome.
I have never seen that in live action. I've seen them fly around and destroy other ships, but I've never seen them start up.
And we've never really seen. Well, actually, yeah. And to be fair, in A New Hope, so never mind. I was going to say we've never seen TIE fighter pilots, but I just remembered the Death Star battle.
Yeah, Battle of Yavin.
Battle. Yeah.
About the Death Star.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
We're going to get to that later.
Yes.
We're going to get to that later.
There's dramatic irony. I will warn you. If you don't like that, so be it.
Yeah.
So be it. Jedi.
All right. So we talked about Aldhani. How about Ferrix?
Yeah. Oh, and you got to remember the beautiful meteor shower. Looked like crystals.
Yeah, that was an awesome sequence. I mean, the visual effects on that were superb.
They were.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that thoroughly. Just stopped. Both sides just stopped and looked. They didn't care about anything. They didn't care about that they were enemies. They just stopped and watched. Yeah,
it was a beautiful moment in Star Wars. Like you could even see the Imperial officers being let off of duty because there's a thing that happens like once every 3 years.
Once every
2 years.
20? I don't know.
I don't remember. Oh well.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Ferrix. What do you want to talk about Ferrix? So, yeah.
I mean, from what we've gathered, it's the it's the home planet of
supposed
home planet at Of Marva. It's Marva's home planet, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, Cassian obviously was moved there since, after he got picked up by Marva, when his whole tribe just got decimated.
In a mining disaster.
That actually came up,
Did that?
Yeah, do you remember when Cassian went to talk to his buddy in the I don't know if to call it a library or sort of communication center? He said there was a mining disaster on his home planet, which actually makes sense because the Separatists, right before the Separatists landed, or I think nearby, there was a giant just crater in the ground, a whole mining site.
I don't remember that. Wow.
You see little Cassie just looking off. He's sort of looking.
Oh, that quarry.
Yeah, the quarry.
That whole quarry. Oh, yeah. Okay, that part I do remember in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I loved seeing the tribes. That was beautiful. The water, them standing on the little docks that they made. I don't know why, but that just seemed. Oh my god.
Yeah, and there's so much we got to talk about. I just I don't want to get into it now.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll save it for future episodes. But the main point is, Ferrex, Rick's Road. Basically, everyone shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, Ferrex. Ferrex is. I mean, honestly, what I think, I like the planet a lot. I mean, it's got a very rustic look to
How
it.
cold do you think it is? Ferrex, because it seemed quite cold.
Like 50s. I'd say in the 50s.
I'd say like 40s.
Yeah, maybe 50s, 40s, that range. But yeah, it's a very nice color. Basically, it's like a pastel.
A lot of reds and
browns, yellows. Yeah, just like a pastel palette. Yeah. That's literally what it was to me. And it's
the bricks are nice. I love bricks.
It's like the Star Wars equivalent of like a mining town,
Yeah, yeah, it is.
You see all the scrap yards out in the distance, and just workers getting to and fro everywhere.
Yeah, and there was a public transport.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially an industrial town, and that's just the town. Oh, Ferrex is Ferrex a planet or a town? Because
it's a planet.
Why am I what? Whatever.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
we're out of it. It's kind of apparent at this point. So just ignore our inconsistencies.
It's fine though. But yeah, it was kind of one of the few, I would say, one of the starting points of rebellion when it comes to, obviously probably the rebellion wasn't started there, but it was one of the starting points when it came to civilians rising up, as we saw in the finale, which we will get to later.
Marva's speech though.
It was amazing, yeah.
From beyond the grave. By the way, I've never seen a hologram covered before. That was kind of cool, seeing half of it.
Yeah. That was a very Star Wars scene. It was inspiring.
That was a George Lucas scene. It wasn't even. If you take the context away from Star Wars, it's sort of a fable.
Yeah.
If you can write a story, then any story. Well, I remember George or Dave talking about this. Dave Filoni. He said you can. Let me try and do the impression. You can make any story a Star Wars story.
That just sounds like you.
I said, I try.
Continue.
He sounds a little bit like me. Because, but...
You can make any story a Star Wars story.
Yeah. And technically, even without and vice versa, I think. If you take a Star Wars story and you strip away the Star Wars, there's something... There's core elements of probably good and evil... what else?
Yeah, there's just a lot of good lessons there to be learned, and and
the genres too, and the genres.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want them to make a Star Wars horror film. What was it? There was a virus, a zombie virus. I think it was the novel Death Troopers. I want them to make that canon.
What if we take for the Star Wars horror? I got an idea. What if we take that virus, that those brainworms from Geonosis? And we turn that into an actual Star Wars horror film.
That would be awesome. We're both filmmakers, you see.
But I'm not saying we specifically. What if they made that into a thing? Because that'd be interesting. Because we already saw in Clone Wars that arc. They went into Geonosis. And for those of you that haven't watched the Clone Wars, it was just one of the deployments to Geonosis.
Many deployments.
Yeah. And what happened was that there was these brainworms. These maggots that would literally crawl up your nose and take control of your brain
or your ears. And the clones were always they were all invaded. What do you think I forget what happened though? Is that I remember
there was this massive queen bug at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were all being controlled by this maggot queen.
Didn't Obi-Wan try to be a diplomat there?
Yeah, he did. Well, no. They were just trying to get out of that situation. I think he was just trying to draw the queen into a false sense of security.
Well, of course, the negotiations were short.
Yeah, true.
They always are.
Yeah.
Anyways, about the news of this week. Sorry, there was the weirdest ship, planet, and character of the week.
Yeah.
It was the funniest, though, I'd argue.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we might as well just get into the news. All right. So, for this week's news, let's just start off with the big thing we're all thinking about. Andor. The season finale, not the season finale, just the whole season in particular. So we're just going to give our overview of what we thought, our opinion. Do you want to start off?
Well, okay. So what I liked about it most was just more of the subtle references, like the construction shipments to Scarif, or sort of the culture and the Trandrillan, is that how you say it?
Chandrilla.
Chandrilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just mentions of Chandrilla and the banking. I think the banking clans were mentioned once or twice.
Yes.
But
a lot of lore building.
yes.
Yeah.
And
a lot
using
of lore
existing lore.
references. Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved seeing new sides of older things like, well, I loved seeing the Cantwell class Arrestor Cruiser. I love seeing the TIE fighters again. I've always loved the Disney not redesign take on the TIE fighter, the Imperial TIE fighter. They changed the design a bit. I'll cover it sometime later. I'll explain all the differences. Okay. But I loved seeing just how grounded and real everything felt. Just how gritty and kind of like you look at something like a shot. You remember the hotel? It looks like if you rubbed your hand on the wall, it looked like sandstone. I don't know why, but it just feels like you can touch it.
You could feel it, and your hand would like dry up.
Yeah, even though it would be kind of cool.
The palm, not the whole hand like shriveling up. You know, that'd be horrible.
Yeah,
it
would. Sith alchemy. Let's be fair.
Always takes a little bit of something for it, like a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that's why Palpatine was such a decrepit old
That's why the people who are practitioners of the dark side look so like.
Yeah, Palpatine was this mangled up prune, like a prune.
He looked like a soggy raisin.
Exactly. He looked like a raisin by the end of his life because he did so much Sith alchemy that it literally just like drained, not his life energy, but the tissue. It just like his body started degrading. Yeah. And that's exactly what we saw with his clones in the sequel trilogy because, he kind of pushed the boundaries of Sith alchemy and cloning to the point where his clones would just like honestly
Do you think
degrade.
he went? That sounds a bit much. I mean, yeah, he did. That's kind of overachieving.
Yeah, I know. It's like he was so hell bent on like the essence transfer stuff is just, in my opinion, it's the stupidest thing possible. He should have just stayed dead, let a new villain rule the world. But no. Disney has to overcomplicate everything.
Well, okay, it happened in Legends, but it shouldn't. Palpatine should have. Well, he should have been. He could have still done his essence transfer, but he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have been discovered. He shouldn't have come out into the wider galaxy. I think that would have been. I think he should have been. Sort of. It would have been more fitting if he appeared in a post-credit scene of some sort. But he's sort of suffering for all his crimes.
Yeah, I mean, from a certain point of view.
Yeah, that would have been much better instead of bringing him back as a villain. I think he should be like William Afton in FNAF and Ultimate Custom Night.
Anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
What were you talking about again?
You were giving your thoughts on
Andor,
the Andor season.
But the ending, I loved the ending to each arc. I loved the episode. I loved episode 6. I loved 3, 6. I think I actually liked episode 10 as well because I think that was the end of the prison arc. I loved 11, the ending to 11.
Yep.
And I loved 12, the end to 12. I was speechless.
It was, I
knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I was watching the end credits. I was just shocked. I mean, it was just perfect.
It was the dramatic irony.
Yeah. Not the end credits scene. I'm talking about just the endings of the show.
Yeah.
Season 1.
The end credits scene though had me speechless.
That was definitely something.
Like they said, construction shipments were moved to Scarif. Also, Luthen's speech in episode 10. I don't know why.
His monologue, you mean, right?
Yeah. That when he said,
everything, you know.
Yeah, I know. That was that was amazing.
Yeah, I actually have a picture of him saying everything. It's pretty funny. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, Yoda on the Senate. Sorry.
Yeah. Anything else you gotta add?
Am I allowed to talk about the ending?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, there was a whole prison arc, and this seems very in line with the Empire. What they were building in the prison, they were building these clamps, these, I think, six-armed
Yes.
clamps. What those are used for, we didn't know until the end. We had suspicions, but it was confirmed that they are used into their joints for focusing panels in the super laser array for the Death Star, the outer ring. So essentially, Cassian was building the very thing that would kill him in the end.
Yeah, that is pretty freaking ironic.
I know.
Like,
but it was beautifully done because of the
Yeah.
scale. It slowly pans out.
and the subtleness of it as well. Like for some reason, the first watch through, I did not even read. Like I did not even. Okay, so it's weird. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, those parts look like something that they've put together in that prison. But then, like, I didn't make that connection somehow from there. I'm like, oh, that's what Cassian put in. He was essentially the architect of his own demise. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't put that two and two together until I watched the second time through, and I was like, what? Yeah, that was pretty insane.
Yeah. It also looked like something that NASA, the way you know what I love seeing that model was from Rogue One. And the way ILM does things is they make things once, usually. And they make everything, you can take it apart and show it from many different angles. So that's why they modeled the interior for the Star Destroyer. That's why they model all of the inner workings of ships. Is so if they ever need to use it again for other things, they can use it for anything. And seeing the Death Star, sort of parts of the super laser array out in space, the way it was lined up, though.
Yeah, it was just beautiful.
The way the shot was, I saw it looking up. You see the Death Star's array looking up. Also, do you think Krennic will be in season 2?
Honestly,
And Tarkin?
I would think so, because season 2, it was kind of like the show is very slow. It's introductory.
Well, season 2 is going to be much
season
faster.
1 was kind of like a very dragged out exposition where you kind of get everybody introduced and you kind of get a background of them, right? Mm-hmm. Season 2 is probably going to open up a lot of opportunities to see other characters, like you said, Krennic, Tarkin, maybe even Vader.
What about, I hope.
But like, honestly.
What about Galen?
Galen, yeah, even Galen Erso.
Or Jin?
Jin's too young, I think, at this point.
No, she's 5 years out. She was...
Oh, yeah, true. I mean...
16 years ago.
It's fine. You have to do the math, you know.
No, I'm not going to. But I know K2 is appearing in season 2.
Yeah.
Do you think... what's his name? The little droid.
Yep.
The loyal one who had the dog bed charger.
Yeah.
Is going to be...
What's his name again?
I forget. But you get the point.
Yeah.
Do you think...
Do I think what?
Sorry, I was reading something. Do you think that his consciousness will be put into K2?
Honestly,
Or a K security droid?
I don't know. I feel like they might do a few renovations on him, but it would be super cool, like you said, to see him. Like, you see his, like, I don't know what the heck you want to call it, like his core, data core.
Yeah.
Just data bank just transferred into like a machine.
And seeing him wake up for the first time.
Yeah.
And seeing their bond.
Yeah. Hopefully he still keeps the stutter. I like that part of him.
Yeah. Do you think Vader will appear in season 2?
Honestly,
Do you think it's likely?
There's always some kind of likelihood, but I don't even think they need Vader. The show is so well established on its own that you can bring in minor characters and expand on them. You don't need a big cameo to kind of come in and, you know.
No, but I want, like, if there was something that happened, because Vader only shows up, at least in the later days, when something big happens. Like on Lothal, when 2 Force users that killed the Grand Inquisitor.
Or the plans, or Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think Vader... I think Vader was a bit salty in Rogue One about the plans. He doesn't like the Death Star, let's be honest.
Well, he's got to do his master's bidding.
Yeah,
you know?
it's blasphemy to him.
That's the way I know. But the way I see it, he's got to do his master's bidding. And, you know, he always... I would say at the beginning he respected Palpatine, but then towards the end of his life, he kind of was just... He
He raised an army of Geonosian battle droids against him with Dr. Aphra.
Yeah, and he kind of was just he held a very grudging loyalty toward him because it's just he realized that he wasn't ever going to beat Palpatine by himself. He held too much power over him. Palpatine literally screwed him over
with
his suit. He screwed him over physically, so he could have a hold over him for this whole entire life.
He could have for the remaining years of his life. And the funny thing is that Palpatine once said to him, or Chancellor Palpatine once said, props to your long life to Anakin in the Clone Wars.
What did he say?
Something like here's to your long life or something. And I was thinking 45 years. That's how long he lives for. That's not that long.
Yeah, so he was actually pretty young when he died.
Yeah, but in terms of what as Rex once said, experience outranks everything. And I think that it outranks age, too, at points, because...
Yeah, true. I mean, if
Vader did so much throughout his life as Anakin and him and the Dark Lord. I think technically that makes him much older in a sense.
Yeah, he was a very wise dude.
Yeah. So and also Vader had done a lot.
Yes. I mean, he lived literally like what? Compared to the normal average galactic citizen, he lived like what? Geez, like 5 lives of just experiences in total.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to hell and back like over the course of his life.
Several times.
Yeah, several times.
Do you remember when he punched Clovis?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. By the way,
I named my horse Clovis in Red Dead because if you remember, right? Did you play Red Dead Redemption? Sorry, we're getting off topic. I mean, this is kind of a pop culture show.
This relates because it's Star Wars. Technically, this is the Fulcrum isn't. It doesn't always have to have a structure. It's more just about talking.
Exactly. So the horse that you get out of
which Red Dead is it? 2?
2. Okay. The horse that you get out of Mrs. Adler's, I would say, shed.
There we go.
So essentially, the horse that you get from Mrs. Adler's barn.
Yeah.
It has like a white like dapple thing on its butt, and it looks like a Clovis arrow that the Native Americans would have, right? It looks like a Clovis arrow, so I named him Clovis. But anyway,
Did you name him Rush Clovis?
No, I didn't. No. I should have done that. You know what? Okay, whatever. Yeah. All right, back to what were you saying?
The horse controls the banks.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, just imagine the moons look over and there's just a horse like walks up, sits in the chair, and just starts speaking through the jumbotron. You
know, Arthur, I've been watching you for quite a while, and I've been letting you ride on my back.
And you owe me 600 credits. What? How can you do this?
Marcin.
It's unfair. We're just becoming so goofy. You know what? Did you hear about the legacy lightsabers, by the way? Disney's making new ones.
Oh, wait, I want to give a quick...
right, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
So my thoughts on the Andor season. Mm-hmm. Like you said, with the grit, we open up right away, and it's a very... I just want to say, going into this show and the months building up to it, everybody was just... a lot of people.
I was excited.
Yeah, same with me. A lot of people, I don't want to say majority, but a lot of people were writing this show off like, oh my God, this is going to suck. We have shows like Boba and Kenobi. Well, how ironic. The show that everybody written off ends up being better than all the other ones, which is, maybe except for Mando, right? But
I think it's better than Mando, personally.
You think it's better than Mando?
Yeah, I like the dark times. I'm not a fan of the New Republic era. I will tolerate it, though.
That's interesting. I feel like they're neck and neck, in my opinion.
Okay, in terms of quality, yes. In terms of personal liking of eras, no.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mando is brilliant Star Wars. I mean, even in the New Republic era, I think John and Dave, anything John and Dave put their hands on, it just turns to gold. They got the Midas touch. All right. Yeah. But, so anyway... it's just the show is very cinematic. Mm-hmm. By cinematic, I mean it has more of a movie feel than say.
It's not claustrophobic.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have that shaky handheld thing like Kenobi does. I mean, Boba just seemed like a regular show.
Boba was a sitcom.
Maybe.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Modern Family.
I mean, I loved this this show because. It looked so good. The budget, although at times the green screen of the scrapyard looked kind of, but it looked amazing. First of all, it looked like it had more budget than Kenobi, which is mind-blowing to say, but hey, whatever. I enjoyed this way more than Kenobi. And
I did too, but Kenobi still had a lot of good points.
It did, but I think it was just a failure of a show overall. Kenobi. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be anybody else's. But yeah, right away we get into that grit. I mean, Cassian literally kills somebody in cold blood. Like this show.
And accidentally as well, because somebody hit their head.
Yeah, accidentally, but then he just terminates that one security guard on the ground.
In the face.
I know, it was brutal. This show is brutal, and I love it for that. I mean, it's just so much more mature. The maturity, the feel, it just felt like it was for a much more older audience throughout the whole entire time.
And he did that thing that every Star Wars character does whenever they're shooting a blaster, and there's a one frame of this, they make this face. They're like, or it's goofy, because he was like,
yeah, it was just he was set to do it, and you know.
Yeah, they should we should put like a whole list of pictures of all the characters that have done that.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed that they didn't pick up after the third episode or something was the fact that Cassian was looking for a sister, because he went into that club looking for a sister. We even got a flashback of the tribes and stuff, and after that we heard nothing of it.
I think she'll come back.
Yeah, we'll definitely get in the second season, and obviously he gets picked up by Luthen,
which is beautiful to say the least.
Yeah, Luthen was kind of Luthen. This is one reason I love him. He has info on everybody. And literally, he knew everything about Cassian, his background, the fact that he used to be a cook in the Imperial Army. Yeah, and it was just I think it was that's just his allure, his charm.
Do you think he fought at Mimban? Do you think Cassian was present at Mimban?
Mimban? I don't
the
know.
One in 13B in 10 was it 10 or 13B?
It is possible. I think it's highly likely.
I think he served with Han.
Maybe. Even maybe, yeah.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been sick. Yeah, so...
Sorry.
Luthen picks him up for the heist. And, about that time in the show, a lot of people complain, oh, this is too slow. This show sucks. Oh, my God.
Then the lore junkies were just like...
Yeah, even the lore junkies were very, very... I guess annoyed about it. Personally, me, I loved it. This was just such a juxtaposition when it came compared to other shows, like Kenobi and Boba.
No Reva.
This was but just Kenobi, Boba, even Mando. This was just so much more mature. The characters, it was 12 episodes, each at least 45 minutes long, which is just splendid. Yes. I mean, they took time to develop all the characters. That whole, I think, Aldani arc.
Yes. Val and Cinta, that was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about it because they were like, oh my God, this is taking too long. But I love the character development personally. In the end, the heist works out. Skeen turns out he was just there for the money. Nemec ends up dying because he got crushed by that crate.
What? Did he break a rib or something?
I think he broke his vertebrae. And he probably had something crushed, like his lungs or something.
Oh, poor man. Yeah, but his manifesto came up later.
He gave Cassian his manifesto, which at the end of the show, yeah, we and I really hope to do something with that, because what if it's like a foundational text that they base the rebellion off?
Wait, what if the last line of the manifesto is "Rebellions are built on hope"?
That'd be sick. That's actually a good idea. That's actually awesome. That'd be nice.
So cool. High five.
That was brilliant. That was a brilliant connection. Even maybe the opening line or something. I don't know. Whatever.
I think the conclusion would be more fitting.
Rebellions are built. Yeah, that line was awesome in Rogue One. But yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And then, obviously Cassian ends up going away to this vacation island. Ends up, for some reason, a trooper targets him, ends up getting sent away.
Oh, Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer was a trooper?
He was the one who arrested him.
Seriously?
Apparently.
Really? Did it say his name in the cast?
Maybe, I don't know, but a lot of people are going nuts over it.
For those of you that don't know, Sam Witwer is the voice actor of Maul, and he is Starkiller.
Starkiller, yeah.
Yeah.
And he did a couple. I think he played Palpatine a few times.
Yeah, he did voice Palpatine a few times.
But when? I think Rebels.
Yeah, Rebel. Ian McDiarmid did come occasionally to. He did come occasionally to voice Palpatine towards the latter episodes. Yeah.
Ezra Bridger. You know?
Yeah.
Palpatine that just looked so wrinkly.
I mean, yeah, it's that Sith alchemy. Yeah, so
Yeah, anyways, yeah.
ends up going to the prison. Andy Serkis, the guy who played Smeagol and Smaug.
And Snoke.
Snoke as well.
And Gollum.
Yes, Gollum is Smeagol. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Benedict Cumberbatch played Smaug. Benedict Cumberbatch did.
Benedict Cumberbatch is a legend.
Yeah, but he
what
played.
If Benedict Cumberbatch shows up in Star Wars?
He was the front runner for Thrawn until he refused the role. Now, I think
the Thrawn actor is coming. What's
yeah,
his name?
he is Mads Mikkelsen's brother. Mads Mikkelsen. I don't
You're
know.
joking, right?
No. Yeah, it's Mikkelsen. Yeah, but yeah. Where was I? Yeah, the prison. The prison thing was pretty cool. They were just building parts for something, which ended up being the Death Star parts, right? That they would use, I think, for like the dish.
They were basically clamps.
Yeah,
That
clamps.
hold everything together.
Yeah, and obviously we get that prison break at the end, which in my opinion it was awesome. And like the way, by the way, Andy Serkis plays Kino Loy.
I can't swim.
Yeah, but the way Kino just runs, it felt like an animated character. It was just such an NPC run. I thought it was hilarious. He's like, attack, and he starts running.
Knocked over, prisoners when they were all running.
One way out.
And I saw people just get run over by other people. It was trampled.
Yeah, that whole prison break was just insane, and I think it really captured like the essence of hope that Star Wars brings to many people.
And all the guards hid. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, because they were afraid, I think that isolated incident where they hide behind the door kind of shows
that the Empire is human as well.
Yes, it shows the potential that rebellions have, because all the Empire has is fear, right? That's all they use. They use fear
and numbers.
Yes, fear and numbers, but numbers you can also counter that with numbers, like other people.
Numbers versus numbers.
Yeah, you can counter numbers with numbers. But yeah, anyway,
maths.
In all the way. In essence, all they have is fear. They use fear.
The Tarkin doctrine. And
once that thing disappears, they crumble. Yeah.
By the way, seeing the floors, I don't know, the electrifying the floors is such an interesting concept. It reminded me a lot of BioShock.
Yeah, it was like it was a very stressful. It was a very stress-inducing thing because as soon as you touch that floor, you die.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And they had their ski boots, the officers.
Yeah.
Noticed on a rewatch.
Yeah. Overall, that prison revolt was amazing.
Yeah.
And then we kind of jump time to Ferrix, the end, where we have another revolt where the
Marva dies.
Yeah, Marva, rest in peace, Marva. She dies. She's Cassian's adoptive mom, by the way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she ends up dying and leaves a holo recording, and that was just so inspiring.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
And what was his name? Who was like thanking Dedra constantly?
Dedra. That was Cyril.
Cyril Karn, was it?
Yeah, exactly.
He was crazy.
Yeah, Cyril is a very interesting character because he is kind of useless, but at the same time, he's like
the way he carries himself. He's very robotic.
He's very robotic, but he's got a chip on his shoulder. You can
reminds
tell.
me of Sheldon Cooper for some reason.
Oh my, that is actually a good good inference.
I hate that I just said that.
No, that is a good connection. He does give me the vibe.
He's got the haircut. He's got the face. He's got everything.
He does have the vibe of
and the
Sheldon.
way he slurped his soup.
Was that soup or was that milk and cereal?
I don't know, something.
Cyril eats cereal. Nah. All right. Anyway,
this has become so goofy at this point.
Anyway, yeah. So there's that revolt. Marva's speech was fantastic.
Oh yeah, it was.
Stand up and fight or whatever, and then they marched upon
on Rick's Road.
Oh yeah, before that they marched upon that with as like an instrument tribute, like the orchestra showed up and everything.
Seeing instruments in Star Wars is great.
Yeah, I think there was supposed to be the Empire said there was a max of 30 people at the funeral.
How many?
But thousands. I mean, the whole town showed up. Yeah,
I'd say there's about 1,000 people in
here. Yeah, that was like their mini rebellion. Like we're gonna send off Marva, and she became a brick because I think Ferrix has a
that's what they do. Just take that out of context. She became a brick.
They cremate the citizens and put them into bricks, and they put them on the wall.
It's like tradition.
Yeah, so after her hologram, she's basically dissing the Empire, you know. The guy tries to cover it up. That makes everybody angry. They revolt.
And people just start punching each other. There's a lack of blaster fire.
No, but the blaster fire came later when when the Empire finally decided to quell the rebellion and just started slaying everybody.
Yeah, and then that kid threw a bomb very close to a conveniently landed by a crate of
other bombs.
Death Trooper thermal detonators.
Yeah.
Like 2-3 crates, and the whole thing just smoke and dust. That's the thing about Andor. There's dust and smoke.
Chain reaction. It was a chain reaction. Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of just shows the dark side of the Empire, you know.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well,
yeah, but it showed what the Empire were capable of. They had no
sympathy.
Yeah, exactly. What's the word? They had no
remorse.
Yeah, whatever. They had no remorse in just slaying a whole town of protesters, or yeah.
Like I said, mining disaster.
Yeah, and
is that their excuse for everything?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, we know they already covered up. If you remember Prince Zizor, he's the Faline lizard guy.
Yeah.
He has a vengeance for Vader because his whole family ended up getting killed because Vader, actually his whole city, Vader dropped a bomb to test out.
When? What year? Wait, is this Legends?
This is Legends. Yeah.
Okay.
So Vader dropped a biological bomb to test out on the city. Oh, they actually needed to get rid of it. I don't remember the details, but essentially the whole city ended up getting it just ended up dead because they were subject to this biological weapon, and Sizor kind of had like a vengeance against him. He was like, "Oh, it's just a disaster," you know. That's what the Empire came up with.
And then Vader was just in the corner, just twiddling his thumbs.
Yeah. So that distraction, that revolt, gives Cassian
time to get away.
Time to go to the hotel, retrieve Bix, and
poor Bix.
We haven't talked about her yet, but Bix is kind of she is his past. I guess.
Lover?
Yeah, I guess his girlfriend. She's his past girlfriend.
There was actually a lot of relationships in Andor.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was, like you said, it was very mature.
Yeah, but it wasn't mature. It's you don't see a lot of love story. Well, there is love stories, but you don't see multiple love stories.
I think that's, like you said, that's why it felt so real.
Yeah.
It added. I mean, this show.
And the color grading was really good.
And the sad thing was she lost her mind pretty much due to the torture method
that
they used on her. It was just playing like screams of like dead children. That was literally what it was. They were playing screams of dead children in her ears for like 5 days in a row.
Oh.
And she lost her mind.
I thought it was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, she doesn't recognize Cassian at the end when he sends them away on the ship.
Yeah, and then she says something. She said a line that sort of inspired everyone present. Also, Cassian, his choice to leave at the end.
He wants to join Luthen.
Well, actually, he wants to confront Luthen. I don't think he wants to join him.
Yeah. So what you're referring to is, Cassian at the end when he sends everybody away, he actually infiltrates Luthen's ship, somehow gets to it. I don't know how.
Just walks in. That's the thing with ships in Star Wars. The doors are always open.
Yeah. Luthen comes into a ship, actually tries to voice activate it. It's off. He's like, huh? What's going on? He sees, and then he walks to his cockpit. He sees Cassian.
Standing there.
Cassian's there. He gives him the option of like, kill me, like end this now.
Quick time event.
Yeah. Kill me or just recruit me. And Luthen kind of gets like a smile on his face, and he's like, so this, he's like, maybe we can actually use this guy to help during the rebellion. And that's where it cuts off. That's the show. I know it's a very rough summary of what happened, but we're just trying to talk about what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I thought this show was amazing. I want to give it a rating of
10 out of 10.
No, 9 out of 10. It was nearly perfect.
What was missing?
The music. If you notice, they used almost no orchestral music. So the score, the sound score, was didn't feel like Star Wars sometimes to me. That was the only gripe I had with the show. It was this close to being perfect, and they forgot to use like John Williams or Ludwig Göransson type music.
Yeah.
Just it was very technological music, kind of like like Blade Runner. It gave me Blade Runner vibes.
It kind of it's like Blade Runner in Star Wars a little bit.
Yeah, but overall, show is great. I want to see more of it.
Me too.
All right.
I wish they would do minisodes. Like not minisodes, but like the certain point of view novel. They should show events from certain. I wish they would do like live action tales of certain events from other characters' perspectives. That you can watch side by side and sync up exactly.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, what do you think of Luthen's shop? For those of you that don't know, Luthen had an undercover job on Coruscant.
Did you notice any of the relics?
Yes. Luthen had an undercover job on Coruscant, posing as a relic shop dealer of like really expensive relics.
That was his job.
Yeah, but like, you know, he that's where it would kind of serve as a base of operations where he would actually meet up with Mon Mothma and conspire against the Empire.
Yeah.
What did you think of it? Like,
I thought it was very beautiful. It was very pretty.
Interesting to say
I
at
liked to
least.
see the Calicori, the Gungan shield, Starkiller's helmet.
Starkiller's helmet, that was a big thing right there, yeah.
Does that mean he's canon? I hope.
See, I don't know, because that could have just been, Palpatine could have just taken, because we know Palpatine was an appreciator of art, right?
Yeah, and so was Thrawn and a lot of people.
And in Luthen's shop, that whole mask, that helmet had like whole armor to it. So maybe he wanted to, maybe it's some kind of warrior species, and Palpatine wanted just to give Starkiller that kind of mask.
Yeah. Oh, there was also a Wookiee horn and helmet.
A Jedi Temple Guard mask as well.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, yeah.
And parts of the, I don't know if it was from the no, it wasn't from Lothal, but the daughter, the son, and the father.
Like a tapestry?
No, remember on the Lothal temple, their hand,
Yes.
the mural.
Mm-hmm.
There were chunks of stone with the hand positions.
I didn't catch
in the
that.
background.
No.
I didn't either, but then I looked at it closer.
Well, I'll actually watch it back because
Yeah, there are three of them.
I definitely want to watch the show back. Yeah.
You want to do a watch party?
Sure, we can probably get a few people together as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
did you catch that like headdress? It looked like a lot like Padme's. It was slightly
where was
slightly different. It was made out of some kind of gold brass material with, I would say, like some jade, like green gems, or just some kind of green lining that would like shine and glint in the light. It was like a very similar headpiece. Had a few more elaborate patterns, like a few more triangles, like lining the crown of the head, but it looked a lot like I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a Naboo headpiece or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there were things from all over the galaxy there.
By the way, I loved Coruscant. I love the
Yeah.
fact that they added the Senate and we saw Mon Mothma's struggles. You know?
We didn't see a lot of it, though. The Imperial Senate.
Yeah. What did you think of the way that they showed the politics of
I was more intrigued to see Massamede and Sly more. I love the politics, but I was really sad that they didn't show it.
Okay.
They were mentioned, though, because there's a very important people in the post sort of Revenge of this. Well, technically they were Palpatine's inner circle. Mm-hmm. And in Legends, Palpatine and Sly Moore had a baby.
Yeah.
But that's not canon.
I like how they showed the political struggles because, like you said, she was performing under the guise. This is why I loved it. It was so beautiful because it really showed that Mon Mothma was doing this from the start. She was posing as this, just this very naive senator that was just like starting up a Chandrilan charity, to help refugees. And really, she was funneling money to start the rebellion, and she ended up mismanaging the money. And they checked the bank accounts.
The ISB got involved. Oh, speaking of which, we didn't talk about that.
Oh yeah, how do we not talk about that?
The ISB is it's like the FBI, the CIA for the Empire. It is awesome.
Yeah, Imperial Security Bureau. Mm-hmm. Mind telling us about what we saw on the show?
We saw their headquarters. We saw a council of them. And apparently they have a lot more information than I thought they would. Because apparently, I think they're high enough, almost close in ranking to someone who would find out about the Death Star, the Inner Circle. So I think
Wasn't Lonnie? Lonnie was the guy.
Yeah.
Actually, during Luthen's monologue that was there.
He was talking to Lonnie.
Yeah, I know.
Also, the elevator reminded me of the one that IG-88 rode in the VR, the Canon VR game. He rode up to the top of a building in some elevators. Mm-hmm. It just looked like it.
Yeah.
It was on Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, like you said in Andor, like the ISB, right? Just like Mon Mothma, those two aspects, like the Senate, Mon Mothma's struggles, and the ISB, and Daedra Miro climbing the ladder, they mirrored. I never actually heard anyone mention this. Daedra and Mon Mothma mirror each other a lot when it comes, but they're on the other side of the political spectrum. But
But they're also opposites because Dedra is climbing in power, and I think Mon is losing power.
No, she was climbing. Mon Mothma was just struggling more, and she kind of had to put more personal sacrifice into gaining her ultimate goal, which was starting the rebellion. You know,
Where was Bail during all of this? He was absent.
I don't know.
From the Senate, was he
somewhere in the Senate? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we saw Daedra climbing the ladder a lot. Like she was a really willing officer. Just, you know, and she's kind of the one that's now started the trail. She's picking up the trail on Luthen, Axis, as they call him, you know.
And Krieger,
yeah, but I think they killed Krieger on purpose.
We need to see. I have a feeling we've met Krieger before, have we?
No, he's like this. I think we saw a hologram of him. Actually, he's this bald dude with like a beard, and like, he's like fat. Like we saw that hologram of him in the Imperial Security Bureau.
Yeah, and I think Luthen had one too. I think, but anyways.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the news? The other news?
Oh, really quick! I just want to mention something.
Oh yeah.
I like the so like Mon Mothma was trying to portray herself as this as this, like, I guess this naive person, and she actually her friend, what was her friend's name? Tay. So she was like I forget this quote. It was something along the lines of
the gem in my hand and the knife in your throat.
Yeah. I show you the gem in my hand and you miss the knife that I put in your throat. And I think that was just a really nice quote, because it kind of showed her aims and intentions in this. And I like how they showed the sacrifices she had to make. She had to marry off her daughter to kind of...
and she also had to completely... I think she's almost destroying... Her husband has a gambling problem. At least, does he? I think so. And she's gonna let him take the fall for it, for all of her careless spending.
Yeah, so she had to sacrifice a lot to, you know, kind of get to where the rebellion, I guess, was when we saw it in the original trilogy.
It's for the greater good.
True. It was for the greater good, as Saul Guerrero said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's pretty much, I mean, Andor was a phenomenal show. I'm excited to see more.
It's calling. Whoa.
Yes, I can do Saul Guerrero, or Forrest Whitaker Saul Guerrero.
All right. You mentioned something about lightsabers to me before the show started.
Yeah, there've been a lot of new legacy lightsabers coming out.
Yeah.
The ones I heard most recently about are from Tales of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Qui-Gon Jinn and Master Dooku's lightsaber. Yes, apparently Dooku had 2 lightsabers. I was theorizing about this, and as I noticed in Tales of the Jedi, he had a slightly different lightsaber hilt. And I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. I like the blade color. I don't know. It's too chunky. Here, I'll show you what I mean.
Like you showed me already. We'll show it up on the screen. For the audience.
We'll show it. You know, like right here. I guess.
Yeah.
It's funny how people do that.
So what were you saying about the lightsabers? If you want to explain to the audience,
it's too chunky. It's still curved. It still has the little shroud piece there, but it's. I like the coloring though, but it's too chunky. The thing is a little. It's not as pointy. It's not as elegant as Dooku's. To compare it to use an analogy, is Dooku's lightsaber that we saw before this. The one that he had, his Sith lightsaber, looks like a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
His Jedi lightsaber looked sort of like a mediocre pizza that you would find on a Friday night.
Huh, that's interesting comparison there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just came up with that.
Hey, I mean, whatever. So do you think maybe the difference is due to the animation style?
No, I just think Disney wanted to change it up.
Okay. Well, hey.
What do you like better? Do you like his Jedi lightsaber? Do you like his...
I like his Sith lightsaber better. It's way more elegant.
Yeah, and, and just in terms of the hilt. I kind of wish they kept the color, though. I wish they... Sorry, not the color. I wish they kept the hilt. Because originally that was the case. I really wish they kept the hilt.
I feel like with a Sith lightsaber, it's kind of shows who he is. You know, it's very elegant.
It's very shiny.
You know, he's a noble. He loves dressing up. You know, he's a very elegant person. That's, you know, I guess versed in etiquette. And this lightsaber kind of portrays that. It's very sleek silver with a few highlights of black in it, right?
Yeah, like a grill sort of.
Yeah. It's curved, so it
yeah,
looks very unassuming, and then
carbon fiber.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very curved. It looks very unassuming at first, but then there's like that little
Switch at the bottom.
I don't know what it is. It's like close to the emitter. It's like
the shroud. That's actually the shroud. I don't know why it doesn't cover the.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve its purpose. The
Yeah.
shroud is supposed to protect your hand from the blade.
It's more decorative, maybe.
Yeah, it's basically his is a flat top with a weird shaped shroud. I love that shape.
Yeah, and like I was gonna say, the shroud kind of just like juts up very menacingly.
The talon.
Yeah, exactly. You worded it perfectly. It's like a talon.
But does it touch the blade actually, or does it just get really
No,
close?
yeah, it probably because the blade is. I mean, it would have melted it by now, so it's not like
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the talon just comes up and it just reminds you that Dooku is like a very, although he's this very
It's like a hawk.
exactly. He's this very like elegant, regal creature, but then like you said, the hawk, like
hawk.
a hawk, it can kill also. So it reminds you, it can still hurt you,
But he doesn't. Dooku. He's a political idealist. It's not in his character to murder anybody. As Ki-Adi-Mundi and Windu once said.
Yeah, my computer's died on me. Perfect.
Oh well, you can use mine.
I don't care. It's fine. Yeah, I mean,
Technical difficulties.
yeah, it's whatever.
Did you bring any power cells?
All right, what else were we talking about? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bob Iger.
Bob Iger leaving Disney. How much time we got left on the clock? Ooh,
No, Bob Iger's back. It was the other guy, Bob Chapek, I think.
we might have to talk about that in the next episode.
All right.
Because we're literally just coming up on the end of our time.
All right.
All right. Now I guess book recommendations. What do you recommend?
I recommend. It's more of. I was thinking the cross sections, the ones that they have that show ships and locations and planets, but sort of explain them, go into detail about how they work and the culture and just little details and references for the original trilogy, the prequels, and the sequels. Right.
No, I get it. It's fine.
I don't know. I tend to lean this way.
I know you're just like right
Strange.
behind it. So
Yeah.
You might not be able to catch. Yeah, but what do you know the name of the book?
Visual dictionary? No. It's the great cross sections. I think it is. It's like how it works. It's like how it works, but Star Wars edition, sort of.
So, I guess it's kind of like an What would you classify it as?
I don't really know. I don't know how to explain it.
Is it an encyclopedia?
Kind of, but it's also not. It's a how it works. It's a how it works thing. It shows all of a cutaway, cross sections, cutaway, like about internal
Okay.
workings.
I get what you're saying now.
Like the Death Star, Star Destroyer, the Millennium Falcon, the Skiff, Java's sail barge, things like that.
That's interesting. You got to show me that after the show.
Yeah, they have it at certain libraries. I don't have it though. I don't think.
Okay.
Borrowed it a few times though.
My book, I still haven't finished it. Honestly, I haven't read it since late September, early October. Yeah, actually September. It's the Tarkin book by James Luceno. Just to give a general overview, I try to pull up the blurb, but the blurb,
You killed your PC.
yeah, it wouldn't find it. But yeah, it's essentially about the life of Tarkin.
Yeah.
It kind of changes between his climb to power as Grand Moff from what I
Interpreted.
yeah, I haven't finished reading it yet. So
Is
I don't
Vader
know.
present in it at all?
He is. Vader is present, I think, towards the latter half of the book, but I didn't get to that part yet. But yeah, it just shows his climb to power, and then it changes between his upbringing on his home planet. I don't remember his home planet name, but the Tarkin family has a tradition of shipping their kids away, specifically the boys, and subjecting them to this very harsh
It's like
environment.
the Hunger Games
Literally, they subject their kids to the Hunger Games style.
of hunting, survival.
Yeah, and I guess his uncle Jova teaches him for a few years, and not Cassian, what? And Tarkin, Wilhuff.
Wilhuff Tarkin.
Yeah, Wilhuff. It kind of shows how he has to fend for himself out in the wild for a few years, and he almost dies a few times. So
Yeah.
and he eats blood, drinks blood. Yeah, but
and that explains his scars. Anyways,
yeah, we're being told to wrap up. Sorry about that. Yeah.
no worries.
But we didn't get through everything, so we'll definitely talk about Bob Iger.
Yeah.
Next.
next time. It's sort of
Next time.
next time on the Fulcrum channel.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like,
Yeah. Well, I guess we're wrapping up.
and
So
I think we'll be less
sick.
Yeah, and a bit. We got a bit carried away though.
Yeah,
but that's
true.
kind of the point.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Nothing else to say. Well, for those of you that are still here, we appreciate you for sticking with us. Sorry for the sickness.
cheers.
Yeah, sorry for the sicknesses. But I don't know. But I guess thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate you for watching, and see you in the next episode. May the force be with you all.
May the force be with you.